Ready?
Yeah.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Week 6 of the NFL season. I am joined by Corey Mello and Nick D'Angelo. We're going to be breaking down this slate. We're going to first go over the Thursday night game briefly, then get into each of our top 3 spread picks this weekend, and then we'll dive into some top 3 DFS plays at each position, and then we'll cap it off with something Nick has that none of us know about, and he'll explain that later. So
have to wait till the end.
It's a new segment. You got to stay tuned. Okay, so first we'll start off with this Thursday night football game and just kind of a brief rundown. Corey, what are your first thoughts on this game?
All right, so Tampa Bay versus Philly. Tampa Bay going to Philly, and they opened up at 6.5. It is now
they opened up at 7.
Some sites 6.5. So, well, regardless of the fact that they are at -7 right now, over under is 52.5 points. This is kind of a game that I'm not really sure where to go with in the aspect of the spread. The Bucs are 2-3 ATS this year. The Eagles are also 2-3 ATS. So there's not really a trend there that I'm liking. Both teams last 10, 7-3 on the over-under, so it's maybe something to look at with the high 52.5. I can see it maybe kind of getting away from the Eagles, and they will have to pass the ball to try to score to keep up with Tom Brady in that high-powered offense, as we saw last week. A couple more stats for you. Tampa Bay's 4 of the last 5 games have gone over. Philly under in the last 10 of 15 games at home. And then actually this is kind of going back towards the ATS. Philly's 4-1 ATS against NFC South teams in the last 5 games. I know those teams that were for Philly were different than what they have now. But, you always look at the trends and see where they're going because trends usually don't lie. So right now, if it gets down to 6.5, I will take the Bucs. 7 right now is just kind of a stay away from me at this point.
That half point's really half breaking you, right?
It is. I mean, if you think about it, a touchdown is better than it at 7 and becomes a push. So that at 6.5, I'll take that. But right now, 7, I might alternate spread it and just move it down. But that's
never recommended, by the way, to take alternate spreads. You lose the juice, the extra juice, because it would be like you'd pay -130, -135, and then if you do that over time, it's not a winning proposition.
Yeah, you keep sipping on that au jus juice over there, PB. Okay. I don't think you got to mess around with this one. You just take Bucks money line.
What's the money line in this game? Like -280?
Doesn't matter. You don't have to look anywhere else. Just take the easy win.
It's -300, so you think you should lay 300 to win 100.
Yeah, the toughest part about beating Philly is the crowd, so I'm not too worried about it. Tom Brady's an absolute legend in the clutch, so crowd's just going to amp him up even more. They don't stand a chance.
All right. Well, that leads into my pick. I feel like always on the other side. Yeah. I like the Eagles here. I already bet them at +7. If it moves to 7.5, I'll put even more money. I think that will be a great number, and the public should be all over the Bucs in this spot. It's a short week. They're in Philly. Thursday night game. We've seen these go under, but this is one game where I do because of how pass heavy the Bucs are, and then Hurts has looked pretty good. The pass defense in the Bucs is terrible. I don't really like betting the under in this spot. It's just an avoid for me for the over under, but I do like Philly +7. And if you can get 7.5 at any point, don't bet an alternate spread. Just if it moves to 7.5, hammer it. But I still like +7. I think a good prop in this game is to bet Devonta Smith anytime touchdown score. This Bucs secondary just cannot handle, they're not guarding receivers at all. I think Ertz, right now it's Goddard's questionable and he
has COVID.
And I don't know. Yeah, he has COVID, and I'm pretty sure he's on the COVID list. Mm-hmm. It looks like Ertz is anytime touchdown scorer is plus 225, and tight ends have also been. And I'm no fan of Ertz. I think he's washed completely. I think Goddard's a much better player, but if he's going to be the only tight end there, I think that's a pretty solid bet there. I think one of those two definitely scores. So
he's been
real quick before we go on. I need to address this little wash comment for all our viewers out there. PB thinks that Tom Brady's washed. So let's take a poll real quick. Who's more washed, Zach Ertz or Tom Brady? It seems like it's a dust bowl this week for you.
Yeah, I'll say Zach Ertz is more washed than Brady, but it's close.
Wow. Okay.
Close,
no.
Yeah, I know. I don't care what credibility people think I lose thinking Brady's washed. We'll see.
All of it.
We'll see how he does this year. I think he's the greatest quarterback of all time, but in the last several years, even though I don't care, he won the Super Bowl, whatever. I think that was on the back of his defense. I don't think he's good, but let's not dwell on that.
Just the one Super Bowl.
One second.
Tom Brady won.
Wait, hang on. A couple more props for the game that I got that looked kind of good early. Godwin or Brown to score. They're both at plus 110. If you like any of those,
Godwin's kind of, I think. I think he might be banged up or something.
Yeah, he kind of was. So
I think though, because it's Evans, Godwin, like there's so many people to feed. I think it's usually tough to bet. Yeah. It's always random.
I don't know. It depends who Darius Slay picks up. I think it's going to
should be Evans. He should be on Evans.
Yeah.
Right. So Godwin should eat, and we might see the return of Gronk here.
Gronk is quite. If he plays, like they're
he's not. I don't think they'll use him this year. He's broken ribs. They don't want to throw him out there when they don't really need to.
Yeah. So showdown slate. Brady is way more expensive than, well, not way more, but he's more expensive. Hurts has the rushing upside. He's gonna be throwing Hurts had like 2 fantasy points going into like the middle of the third quarter, and they ended up with like 24. Like the dude rushes all over the place. I think you play one of the Eagles receivers, you play Jalen Hurts, you fade Tom Brady, you play Leonard Fournette, and you play maybe some kickers, but I don't know. I think you fade Tom Brady. I almost won the showdown slate when they played the Patriots, fading Tom Brady.
Well, I mean, we shall see. Actually, two more props for the game. Leonard Fournette over 24.5 receiving yards. I kind of like that. Ronald Jones is nowhere to be seen. Gio Bernard has been coming in, but Leonard Fournette still owns that backfield. And then actually this one's kind of crazy. Brady under rushing yards is at 1.5, and that is plus 102. So we do know he does like to sneak the ball. Last week his rushing prop was 0.5. I think he finished with 4. Just something to think about. It's kind of a long shot, but at plus 102 for him to sneak the ball 2 yards, I'll take that. So, but with that being said, I think we should move on to our 3 spreads of the week that we are looking at. I will continue talking here, and I will start with the Chargers versus the Ravens. I think this is a game that more people are going to be on, especially last night. The Colts blew that, whatever. I don't think the Ravens really looked that well until the fourth quarter when the Colts were on 5th, 6th, 7th string secondary players. So I'm going to be taking the Chargers at plus 3. Chargers are 8-1 against the spread in the last 9, 4-1 on the road in the last 5. And the Ravens are 2-5 against the spread in the last 7 versus the Chargers. So give me the Chargers plus 3. I think it's a great spot, and the Chargers are looking very dangerous right now.
Yep, I also had that same exact one. Herbert is going to have a new name of Laser Arms on the show, I think. That guy just throws absolute cannon shots. It's just, he's awesome. I think he's legend in the making. Like you were saying, Ravens defense isn't really the same anymore. They lost Judon in free agency. Marcus Peters, their lockdown corner, he's out. It's not the same team. We saw it last night. Lamar Jackson had to actually throw the ball for once. Turns out he can do it, but Chargers all the way. Plus 3. Give me those points, baby.
Yep.
Staley's an incredible coach.
Yeah, he really is.
It's hard to bet against someone that is is coaching at such a high level right now. Like definitely lead candidate to win Coach of the Year easily. For me, I was actually, you're going to be shocked. I was able to bet this right when it opened, and it's not, you can't get it anymore. It's Rams -6.5 against the Giants. It's now at 10.5.
Yeah.
So I got it through like two key numbers of 7 and 10, but we saw what happened to the Giants. I think I bet it because they'll put the lines out during sometimes the games, and I bet it. I looked at the next week's games. I was like, this is insane. And it's at 10.5. I think if it comes below, even if it gets to 9.5, you bet it. Like the Giants, Daniel Jones got banged up. Saquon's out. Who knows if Slayton and Shepard are coming back? Tony punched someone, got ejected. Like he looks electric, but like there's so many injuries on this team. And the Rams had a longer week. They had a Thursday night football game. They've had even longer to prepare for this game.
Yep.
This could be a beatdown. And so even though I got 6.5, I still like it up to 9.5. So that's my first one. Corey, what's your second?
My next one is probably I don't know. I was looking at the slate this week and I was like, it's not a lot of games I'm really liking, but the Chiefs at -7. I don't like the number -7 as we discussed earlier, just because kickers we saw last week have blown games for teams. I'm not saying the Chiefs would do this, but after last week's embarrassment against the Bills and their offense not performing, I think this is a blow up game for the Chiefs where they just absolutely dominate and they could put up 45, 48 points this game. Washington's defense is not good right now. They still have the key players to be good. I don't know what happened from last year to this year, but they look nothing like they did last year. So give me -7. I mean, the trends in this game they're terrible on both sides. Chiefs 1-5 against the spread in the last 6. Washington 1-4 against the spread in the last 5. So I mean, I don't know. I just give me the Chiefs. It's hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes, especially coming off a bad performance by him. I think he's gonna be ready, and he's going to throw the ball all over the field on the Washington football team. That's that's all. Yeah, I don't love it because the Chiefs cannot cover spreads. They're notoriously not good at doing that, but this just seems like a spot where they take it to the next level.
I think the Chiefs are overrated. People have figured out Mahomes.
Is this your next pick? Are you taking the Washington football team?
I'm not, but I'm going to go with a AFC North team here, taking the Bengals -3.5. They've been in some good games.
Wait. You're playing your team that you picked on the money line 2 weeks in a row, the Lions.
And I failed both times, so you have
they
to
came
learn.
So close last week with that field goal. Like I thought they had it.
I know it was close for sure.
But now you're going against them. Now they're going to cover.
And now now is probably the time that they actually hit the first week.
The funny thing is that I hated I loved the Bengals last week. And I still like them. I think they can win. But if I had to pick a side, I'd probably pick Lions.
They hung in there with the Packers, though. So it kind of made me believe that the Bengals were a little bit better than maybe I gave them credit for.
Like maybe they had some defensive players like you said they didn't have.
Yeah, they don't have those. But Burrow's pretty good. So.
I mean, that game last week, the Bengals had no reason being in that game.
Yes, they did.
No, the Packers missed so many opportunities that I don't want to hear it. The Bengals were given that.
I said that was last week. I said biggest avoid trap spot, and what happens? It was like both sides lost. It was just exactly avoid. You don't bet those games.
All right, people. What's your next game?
Mine is I got the Chiefs when they opened at 6.5.
Okay.
So I think that's. I absolutely love that number. I completely agree with Corey. They're 1-5 in their last 6 against the spread. But I mean, this Washington team secondary. I mean, so Jameis Winston with Deontay Harris and Marquez Callaway just threw 4 touchdowns on him, was throwing all over the field. These guys like Deontay Harris and Callaway, where there was just nobody around him, and now Tyreek Hill is going like. Goodness, this game could just be a biggest beatdown of the week potentially. Yeah. So I'm super confident in this -6.5. It's probably my favorite bet of the week, 100%. Yeah. So yeah, I love this spot.
I do like that game for some daily fantasy plays. I think it'll be.
We'll get into that.
Yeah,
definitely some plays there. So Corey, what's your third pick?
So my next game is one I know PB doesn't like to really do all that much. Is interdivision games. I'm going to take Green Bay -4.5 versus Chicago. Green Bay is going to Chicago. Green Bay is 4-1 this year against the spread. Bears are 3-2 against the spread this year. The over/under on this is actually pretty low, which I kind of agree with. It's at 45. I don't think the Bears will be able to score nearly enough points to keep up with Green Bay. Green Bay last 10 games against Chicago are 7-3 against the spread as well, 9-1 straight up, and the over/under is 6-4 in these games. So, and then also the total under is 15. 15 out of the last 20 games in Chicago have gone under. So it's kind of the trends are kind of going against each other there, with the way that the Green Bay is playing right now and how Chicago's really not scoring that much. It's meaty in the middle. But again, like I said, I don't think the Bears can put up nearly enough points to stay relevant or competitive in this game with the Green Bay Packers. So, and Aaron Rodgers just loves beating up the Bears. So,
I mean, Aaron Rodgers and Devontae, certainly some bear killers, but I'm definitely in the camp of the most ironic outcome is the most likely. So I think Justin Fields' breakout game, first time lining up against the Pack, he's gonna make his mark on Chicago by just a legendary win right here.
No,
I'm cheering for the Bears.
Is this
Bear
your
down,
pick?
baby.
Is this your
pick? Bear down.
That's your pick?
Is Bears money line?
No, I just disagree with Corey. Bear down, baby.
Oh, okay. No, fair enough. All right.
What's your next pick? I'll get into my pick if you want, though. Yeah, I think it's an absolute lock.
Let's hear it. No, don't say that.
All right. -5.5 for the Bills against the beat-up Titans team. Seems so easy. The Bills are just dummying everyone. It's like not even close. What was it, 40-0 against the Texans?
Yeah.
I kind of look at the Titans right now on the same level as the Texans. Like, just garbage. Like, they're just playing to play. Like, relegate this team, send them down to college for a couple of years, and be on their way, you know? Bills all day.
Yeah. I mean, I looked at the game. I didn't really know what to do with it early. I mean, I think the Bills obviously are the better team, and me being a Colts fan, I hope they absolutely just smash the Titans because that's what we need. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know where to go with that game. I could see the Titans backdoor covering that game somehow, but
even if Julio comes back, I mean, Trey White's going to lock him down. Let's just get some tables going and start smashing. Bills all the way.
All right, PB, what's your next pick?
I with this game, like usually this is like that Bills Tennessee game where the line looks so fishy, where you're like, it seems like the Bills should be like -7 or more.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's one of those spots where the line's too fishy for me to bet. But I think the Titans are just not that good, and I think the Bills are really good. But it's a spot that I'm super tempted to bet, but I just can't because it's whenever something is too fishy to me, I just avoid it.
Yeah.
And that was the Bengals for me last week and Packers, and that's that game this week for me. I wouldn't bet the Titans side either. I won't bet either side on this one. But my favorite or my last bet is the Steelers -4 going against whoa, why did I just blank on it? They're playing the Raiders, right?
What?
No, the Seahawks. Sorry, the Seahawks. Geno Smith.
Smith's Hawks.
Yeah, so Geno Smith going into Pittsburgh, Sunday Night Football. I think the Steelers looked pretty decent against a pretty solid Broncos defense this past week. I just think the Steelers grind this one out. I think Najee Harris just eats against the Seahawks. Weak, probably worst run defense in the league. I think this is a great number. I think this probably should go through a touchdown, and is at -4. What?
No,
You disagree with
a little internet connection there for you.
Oh,
All right. So here's a question.
I said the spread I think should be closer to a touchdown, but
okay, there we go.
I like the -4.
Fair. Here's a question for the group. Do we think Geno Smith is capable of an Alex Smith level of a career bounce back here? He's got his opportunity to shine. What do we think?
No.
I'm gonna say no.
No, I'm going with no as well.
I'm gonna say he's like
entertainment.
no.
He's been in the league this long. He's notoriously just a backup quarterback. That's what he always will be. He's been in Seattle so long just because he just knows the playbook. That's the only reason why they keep him around.
Yeah, but, do you remember him on the Jets? He's probably the most winningest Jets quarterback ever, Geno Smith. I'm not sure who is, but he's got to be top 3 at least.
I have to go with Joe Namath is probably the winningest Jets quarterback of all time, but that's just me.
Yeah,
I'm not
he
sure.
wasn't around in the fantasy age, so he kind of gets forgotten about.
Yeah, you're right. Drinking Joe.
I think so. That was all of our picks, right?
Yeah.
My favorite, my favorite teams to tease are some of the picks. The Chiefs, if you get them to like whatever, the -0.5, -1.
Yeah.
The Rams getting it down to like probably 4.5. Even though I already have a 6.5, I still even think putting them in a teaser to get from 10.5 to 4.5 is great. And then the Eagles, if they move to 7.5, being able to get them to like 13.5, I mean, that would be like my favorite side of the teaser, honestly. I would love getting the Eagles to 13.5 if you can get that.
Yeah, I'm coming on the same side with you with those teasers. I had Chiefs move them down to -1. Move the Chargers. You can get them up to +9 if you want to do a 6-point teaser. Rams move them down to 4.5. Green Bay to +1.5, and then Colts move them down to 3.5. So,
okay.
plus 3. Just throwing it out there. No.
All right, so now we'll get into DFS. So we're going to run through our top 3 plays at quarterback, running back, receiver, tight end, and defense. We'll start with Corey's favorite 3 quarterbacks, and we'll each have a high tier, mid tier, and low tier at each position.
Yeah, so I'll go in order here from high to low. I mean, we've talked about it before the game. Mahomes, I know he's pricey, but I mean, we've highlighted the reasons why he is where he's priced. He is Patrick Mahomes. He can throw the ball for 7 touchdowns in this game easily, and I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't say easily, but he could do it.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying. I mean,
on the table.
Yeah. So give me.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So give me Mahomes at the highest point. Stafford at mid tier playing against the Giants. I think is another good pick. He is like 6,700 this week, so it's a little bit higher than the mid tier, but I mean for quarterbacks, and the Giants just gave up a bunch of points to the Cowboys, so give me that. And then for my low pick, coming off of last night's disappointing loss, give me Carson Wentz at 5,400. I mean, he threw for 300 yards. You know, he had 2 touchdowns. Probably should have had more if the Colts were a little bit more aggressive, but I think he's a good spot against the Texans, who obviously don't know how to play football at this very moment. All right, Nick, let's hear your quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, I liked Mahomes too.
Yeah.
We don't need to go back there. I didn't like Stafford so much, but I like Heineke a lot at 5,800. On the opposite side, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
Tony Gibson's just going to be running screen routes the whole time. They're going to need to move the ball quick, so I like him. And then kind of a weird one, but like I was saying, I think Justin Fields might have his breakout game. So if you got to go cheap, it's better than playing Jared Goff.
He does have that good rushing upside that does at his price point.
Got to tap into that though. He has not been doing it.
I wonder if Chicago's like their offense is telling him like to like basically not run. So like just to like go through a progression.
If you saw him in college, like he tries to be a pocket passer first. I think that's just who he is. He's all about the QB fundamentals. he obviously has that ability to extend the plays, but it's not his.
I think he's
it's not his
trash.
number one option. So
I
he's been like
personally
that.
think he's trash.
Yeah. So
You'll see.
All right.
We'll see this week.
All right, Peter.
I think I'll see him throw another just dud game.
All right.
Like I didn't like him coming in, and he's proven nothing more than that.
If he can't get going for a rival, then maybe I'll join your side. But giving him one last week.
Well, we shall see.
All right, people, let's hear it.
Mine, stealing two of yours, Nick, and one of Corey's. Mahomes at the top, and we all agree don't need to go more. He's going to shred this team. Heineke, I like at the mid-tier because I'm going to be stacking this game all which ways, like McLaurin, Heineke, Mahomes, Kelsey, Tyreek, I'm going to be stacking this game every single which way. And then Wentz for my cheap option. I think going against Houston, I'm going to probably play Pittman on every Wentz team. But I just think he's in a great spot against Houston. He kind of got brought back to life against the Ravens here. Going back home, I think he has a good game. Now moving to running backs. Corey, what are your top three?
Give me, for my top pick, give me either Eckler or Chubb. I like the Ravens game, the Ravens-Chargers game. Eckler coming off a huge game. He catches the ball in the backfield. He runs the ball well. Give me him. Chubb it's kind of a pick where I'm not really sure what to do. He had a big game last week.
That's not even mid tier. It's like
no. Here's my high tier. Those two. Yeah, they're priced at the same, so that's why I gave them both. Mid tier, kind of gross, but give me either Melvin Gordon or Devonta Williams. Both at price around the same. They both get a lot of work, and they both have been doing pretty well. I just didn't know who to go with. They both
Who's
have
Devonta Williams?
Javonte.
Oh,
the rookie running back there. Yeah,
the better running back.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'd rather have O.J. Simpson on my team than Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon
is impossible.
Rash.
And then for my low tier, give me Dame Williams for the Chiefs.
Oh, you said Daryl Williams?
Yeah, Daryl Williams. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's a solid play.
Right.
Nick.
I guess if you had to pick one of the top few guys, if McCaffrey's back, I mean, he's pretty fun. But I actually like guys in the 6,000 range. I like Joe Mixon as well as Darrell Henderson this week. I think the Rams, you kind of saw them run a lot at the beginning of the game last week. I think they're going to stick to that. Also, the possibility if the game just gets out of control, they're just going to feed him the rock. Mm-hmm. He'll get a lot of garbage time points, I think. So game script-wise, he's in a good spot, and it's not like the Giants have any sort of run defense to begin with. Outside of Jabril Peppers, shout out to Jabril. But, I think he's set up for a good day. Either Joe Mixon or DeAndre Swift in the same game. If I had to pick, probably Joe Mixon. I think it's just a higher-powered offense. I like the pass catching ability, and he's pretty solid. He's actually healthy for once, so might as well play him while you can.
All right. For me, CMC at the top. If he's a full go, he's a lock and load. He's way too cheap. He should be priced at $10K when he's healthy. Way too much volume. So then Henderson is probably my favorite mid-tier. Like I said, I think they smashed the Giants. I think Henderson will be all sorts of involved, way better than Michelle. And even when he was banged up, he got a ton of playing time.
Tony Michelle, what a disappointment that guy is.
Bell cow for the Rams against the Giants all day. And then Daryl Williams, I mean, you'll see on this DFS slate, there's not a lot of value. And him at 4,900, I mean, he's going to be the lead back in the Chiefs offense. I'm going to play possibly 100% Daryl Williams in every single one of my lineups, even with playing him with Mahomes. And then, so those are my three favorite tiers of running backs. Now we'll get into receivers. Corey.
Give me Scary Terry at the top. We've already touched on this game. Him or Cooper Kupp as well. They're both priced around the same price tag. Mid-tier is actually kind of interesting. Thielen, he's very undervalued this week. I mean, he hasn't performed the last 2 weeks, so they dropped his price tag. He's below 6K. He's a great option. Also, that the mid-tier is going to be Pittman. We touched on Carson Wentz, and Pittman's getting a lot of air yards, and he finally got in the end zone last night. And then for my low tier, give me Amon St. Brown for the Lions. He's been Goff's favorite target last 2 weeks, coming off like 6 or 7 catches the last 2 games. So give me him as well.
All right, so I got a couple guys in the, I don't really like any of the top tier guys outside of Tyreek, but he's kind of boom or bust this year, so I don't really feel like going his route this week. I like Jamar Chase as well as Hollywood Brown. He's kind of emerging as a number 1 receiver for me. I think, Houston, we have a problem. He's going deep.
He is the crazy. Marquise Brown, crazy consistent.
He only has to catch like 1 or 2 of those, and he gets like 5 deep looks a game, like plus 50 yards. So I like that a lot. He's got some Will Fuller flashes to him for me.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase, I think, is on an epic rookie run. We saw Justin Jefferson do it last year, so I'm pretty comfortable going with him just on recency bias for rookie receiver standout. So like what he's doing. He can finally figure out the NFL size of the football, so let's play him.
Like he never forgot.
Yeah.
My top 3 receivers, cash games, you play Adams every week until he's like 10,000. His volume, 40% target share with Rodgers. I mean, it's just ridiculous going against this weak Bears secondary. Tyreek for tournaments, you could play Adams and Tyreek, or you just fade Adams for Tyreek because of his ceiling. But Adams has a higher floor for cash games. Then mid-tier, Brandon Cook going against the Colts. He's faced 2 pretty solid defenses and corners. Now he gets a weaker Colts secondary, and he gets a lot of volume, and he's very cheap now for the volume he gets. So I like him a lot, and bringing him back with the Wentz stacks, Wentz, Pittman, bring it back with Cooks. And then finally, I'm shocked you said I'm on St. Brown because I'm on him too.
Yep.
Quinton Cephas, Tyrell out. Now he's going to be the lead guy. They play from behind every game. He's going to be all over the field.
Yep.
He's got 8 targets his last 2 games. He's my favorite cheap option. I'm going to run through tight ends really quick. We're running out of time on this podcast. So Kelsey every week, you play him. He's on the slate. You just have to have some exposure. He's going against Washington. Just play him. Mid-tier, Andrews or Fant. Andrews against Chargers. Chargers have an amazing pass defense, very run funnel, except they give it up to the tight end position. I wanted to fade him this week because everyone's going to be on him after this past blow-up game, but I'm going to have to play some Andrews because of the spot he's in. He's still too cheap. And then cheap guy, which is probably what you're going to play in cash games because of the value you need this week, and it's Ricky Seals-Jones or Evan Ingram. Ricky Seals-Jones going against Chiefs, playing from behind. He's the only tight end there. He got like 9 targets this past week. Evan Ingram, I like more if all the Giants receivers are out. If they're in, give me Ricky Seals-Jones. So that about wraps up this show. Hopefully you guys got some insight onto this slate, and we'll see you next week for week 7.
See you guys.
See ya.